Hey everyone, it's me again. I just wanted to come on here and talk to you guys for just a second. So much is going on right now. It's almost unbelievable, unfathomable. I mean, I could think of 1,001 words to describe what's taking place, right? And so, from one perspective, there's a lot of people that are walking around that are super angry with everything that they're hearing and angry at the people that are presenting it and sharing it. You know, I'm one of those people that are presenting it because I want people to be aware and I want people to have an understanding of what is taking place because our freedom is being challenged. Okay. And so, from one perspective, this timeline that we're in, where the third dimensional paradigm no longer has a place in our reality because it's full of restriction, it's full of repression, oppression, whatever you want to call it. Um, we are seeing this play out at every level where we've been on lockdown for how long now, and finding out that LA County is going to be locked down indefinitely. I have a friend that lives in LA County and she's in her late 70s and she's alone there. And I fear for her safety because I don't know what this is about with her. Every day I find myself doing more and more research to try and figure out what is taking place. I hear a lot of stuff behind the scenes from a lot of connections that I have that are involved with the Department of Justice and certain individuals that are in government that are have been arrested. And I'm also being told that there's not going to be a whole lot of publicity right away about these arrests and about these people going down, and that there is a lot of good stuff that's on the way that's going to be coming. I posted on Jasera and Sarah yesterday, and that is really exciting. But what is concerning to me is that so many people are not taking their freedom seriously. So let me just give you this food for thought. We're in a collective timeout right now. And this timeout is not about the virus. It's not. I'm not saying it's not real, because the virus is very real, okay? But it's not about the virus. It's not about what's happening in the government. It's not what's happening with Obamagate or any of that stuff. It has nothing to do with any of that. This has to do with humanity. This has to do with us being okay with giving up our right for freedom. This has to do with us being compliant in ways that should never be. When the United States was formed a very long time ago, it was meant for a place of freedom, right? And the Indians were here, so we're told. And their rights were taken away. And then soon those settlers that came here had their rights taken away. And as I mentioned in yesterday's video, the United States was basically sold out and taken away and uh, owned by the elites, the Rothschilds, and the Federal Reserve was created, and we basically are chattel property of the Federal Reserve. And so that means that whatever befalls the United States befalls us. And we've been under the guise of a democratic society that has been managing and governing us. Now, I know nothing about politics at all. I'm a healer. I have nothing to do with politics, nor do I desire to have anything to do with politics. I really don't. But my desire is for everybody to have an awareness of what this is really about, because this is about you and your freedom. And the illusion that society has been under for centuries, the illusion that we have been free, but we aren't free. We've never been free. We're always told what to do, how to act, how to behave, and now we're seeing that more and more. And because we never challenged this in the past, we never challenged our freedom and our rights and First Amendment and all of that. Now what's happening is the powers that be are starting to put the hammer down, and they are starting to enforce stronger laws. And we're seeing that playing out in social media with people getting deplatformed and people getting warnings for the things that they're posting. And then what we're seeing is other people, our fellow humans, fellow citizens, turning people in for what free thinking, freedom of speech. Oh, remember there was a rule. If you see something, say something. Yeah, that was enforced and then put into us through brainwashing so that we would all become snitches for those elite powers that are governing us right now. And if you don't think that that's very real, I can assure you it's very, very real. Okay. And so what I'm seeing playing out now is we are slowly losing our powers. I know for some of you, this has been really hard because you're seeing the stuff that's being posted on social media. Much is being posted on my pages because I happen to have a lot of information, and I'm always one to do research. So the minute I hear something, I look into it and see what is taking place, right? And then I form my own opinion. I don't listen to anybody else because nobody else's opinion is important to me. I want the truth and I want the facts, right? That's how I operate. It's who I am. And so what I'm seeing happening now is we're being monitored. We're being monitored on our cell phones and on our computers, and they're probably watching me right now through my Logitech webcam and hear everything I say. And that's just the way it is, right? It's 24/7. And so now what I'm seeing is people are fighting with each other on Facebook and on Twitter and all of the social media platforms because fear is coming up. As we're slowly losing our rights and our freedom, fear is starting to set in with some people who are still in denial. It's called cognitive dissonance, and I know that you've heard me write about it. And what's happening is that fear that's presenting because we want to keep our head in the sand and pretend that everything is not as it seems, and we're not locked in our houses and now being forced to wear these face masks, which are making our health worse. So many doctors have come out and said that. And people are not really ready to hear this. So they're going into cognitive dissonance, which the first step of it is anger. So there's much conflict and people, lashing out and everything, which is completely understandable. I've taken a lot of that on myself. I've been used as a sounding board for that, for people to vent their frustration. And I get it. I truly get it, right? I do this work for a living, so I'm like a colander. Colanders have holes. It's a sieve, right? You take whatever you're going to wash, you put it in the colander, and then you put the water on it, and the water just runs through it. Well, that's what the information is. The information is just meant to run through us, but it's not meant to get stuck. It's meant to run through us, and it's meant to just be a catalyst for us to make our own rational, intelligent opinions, okay? And so what's happening though is we're getting stuck in that anger stage, and we're not able to see beyond the anger, and that's not good. We have to take this information in because it is the reality. It's the reality that we're living in. We're facing contact tracing and a whole bunch of other stuff, right? I just saw a video where this one town is actually putting arrows on the sidewalks so that you know which direction to walk in. Are you kidding me? That is not acceptable, right? I mean, one world order, I don't know. But anyway, so here's my thoughts on this, okay? Um, I don't believe that that humanity is gonna succumb to this whole shenanigans that's taking place now. I don't believe that. I don't feel that. I don't perceive that as a timeline. What I do believe is that it's going to get much worse until you choose your freedom. Every single person on this earth has to stand up for themselves and choose freedom. That is where we are right now. That is the timeline that's playing out. It's not about the virus. It is about us choosing us beyond and above everything else. And that means that when you're taking in information, you're not taking it in, you're not dwelling in it, you're taking it in as a conscious observer, you're experiencing the information and then releasing it and saying, okay, what else is there? What else is next? I needed to see this from the reality that I have been existing in, from the reality that I've been residing in, so that I could clear this timeline from my electromagnetic field. That is very important. We are all facing this challenge that we have now in order to be able to help us release this lower, distorted, third dimensional paradigm from our field. However, we can't do that if we're yelling at each other and arguing with each other. If somebody is sharing information, please be grateful that that person is standing up and possibly putting themselves in a position where they could be jeopardized in a number of ways, right? Where they're like me, my Facebook page could be taken down, my YouTube channel, I could lose all of my work, all these past years that I've been doing, all the beautiful healing work that I've been sharing, all the ways that I've been giving free information out to you guys could all be gone in a flash because somebody thinks that what I said is not good, right? That is a very real thing. And then everybody suffers because there's a lot of really good information there that I've shared on healing, okay? And it would benefit everybody. But because we're now being asked to tell on each other and we're being asked to moderate what we're saying and what we're sharing, we're asking, they're asking us to be compliant, right? I could tell you that I've received, I don't know, 30 notices um, from the Census Bureau because they want to know who lives here. 30 notices. I've never seen that many notices in my whole entire life. What the heck is up with that, right? So you have to just wonder, and it has to make you look at this and say, there's something else going on. And we can't get mad at it. Getting mad is not the answer because when we are mad, we're not seeing clearly what is taking place. And if we're getting mad, then it's going to take that much longer to work through the cognitive dissonance because first we'll get mad. Then we go into denial, right? Then we work through the fear. Then we have to go into surrender. Then we have to go into acceptance. Way too much work, right? Really have to just look at this for what it is. This is the reality playing out. Some really crappy stuff might be coming into the limelight. And the more we can look at it and say, this is not my reality. This is not what I'm choosing. 3D does not work for me anymore. I'm choosing the higher 5D timeline. The faster we're all going to jump those timelines and move on from this. But the longer everybody is willing to sit in this and look the other way and think that this is not happening or that that this is for our best, highest good, I got news for you. We're going to end up suffering. Well, I'm not going to suffer because I'm choosing to be aware and I'm choosing to be conscious. But those who are not willing to see, suffering's going to happen because it's going to take suffering to make a shift. It's going to take suffering to make a change, right? And I could tell you, when I was not open and aware, I had cancer. And I opened and became more aware, but I still wasn't open and aware. And 3 years later, I had cancer again. And that opened me and made me more aware. And then I never turned back, right? So that's how it works. I had to suffer a little to get great awareness. I'm trying to show you, you do not have to suffer. You don't have to suffer in order to have great awareness. All you have to do is look at it as a conscious observer, a conscious observer. You don't have to take it in. You can be the sieve, you could be the strainer, whatever you want to call it. Let it come in, the information comes in, and it goes out. But I will tell you right now, people, you know, I am a healer. And those healers, anybody that is saying that we don't want to acknowledge this and we only want to acknowledge the higher timeline, that is not true. We can't do that. We have to acknowledge everything because it's how we clear all of this. We have to acknowledge the lower timeline so that we can clear it, so that we could see, understand what we need to let go of. We need to let go of the illusion that we've been playing under. And this is going to take every single one of you who are healers, who are in the spiritual community, are going to need to stand up, and you're going to need to be the leaders, and we're going to need to be the guides for those who are going to need somebody to turn to. Every single one of us are needing to stand up right now and be strong and be supporting of each other, because we are all we have. We need to do this. In order for this timeline to shift, and in order for us to quantum jump it, we're going to have to stand together, and we're going to have to say no more. I choose myself. I choose freedom. I'm not participating in this. I do not consent. Okay? So I hope you guys take in what I said. And if you feel angry, that's okay, because that's that cognitive dissonance that's happening, right? And that's the first step, is anger. And then it goes into denial. Oh, no, she's crazy. She's a whatever. That's the ego, right? And the ego's job is to keep us separate from knowing ourselves as source, from knowing ourselves as light, right? And the minute you start to realize that, oh my God, that's my ego coming in, because my ego doesn't want me to succeed, because that's why I incarnated in this reality, in this third dimension that has polarity and duality. I incarnated here to have this earth experience, to have the experience of polarity and duality, where there is good and there is bad, there is wrong and there is right, so that I could make a choice. I could choose myself and see what is right for me. Okay? So I want you to look at it from that perspective, and I want you to really try to open your heart. And if you feel that you are still struggling after you've watched this video, I'm going to ask that you don't give up on it and you watch it a few times just to let it anchor in. I am streaming a frequency that is very heart-based, in the higher heart, to help open, to help shift you. So please don't lose hope, don't lose faith. I do believe that we're going to come out of this on top, that we are going to see that amazing timeline shift that we need, but we need more people to wake up. We need more people to say that's not okay. We need the guys that are spraying the arrows on the sidewalks so that we know which direction to walk in, to say, I'm not doing this job. This job does not feel right. It does not serve humanity. It does not serve my highest good. We need people to start standing up, like the doctors and the nurses who are willing to risk their career, like I'm doing right now, willing to risk my YouTube channel, my social media platforms, all of that, to bring you this information. We need to stand up for each other. We cannot be silent any longer, okay? This is really important, and we have to have the clarity and see what is going on. Don't take it in. Don't let it make you sick. Don't let it make you anguished. Just see it for what it is, and then let it pass through, okay? So I hope this helps you guys. Know that I'm right here with you. I'm right in this with you. For those of you that have been messaging me, thanking me for sharing what I'm sharing and bringing light and clarity, thank you. I honor you. I thank you so much, because this has been really hard for me to do, because I don't work in the third dimension at all. I work in the higher realms. So this has really been hard for me to be in this realm and to keep clearing the energy out of my field. So I want to make sure that you guys get this message. Everybody, please show up for each other, please. And we all need to just stand in our power and not let this happen. Okay. Choose the higher timeline, see it, clear it, and go higher. All right. Thank you guys. Bye.